our 12 weeks empowerment series, 12 weeks of Christmas at Team Beauty Official. We are beyond happy with the results of our first 4 episodes. Today, we are filming episode 5. And for everybody listening, I want you to make sure that you share, that you tag, and that you encourage somebody new to watch our episodes and listen to them, whether it's through YouTube or Spotify. We are women empowering each other. And on this episode 5, I am honored and blessed to be able to have a strong pillar for the city of Brownsville, Texas. We have an amazing woman that from the moment that I met her, she had a beautiful spark. She was a I got it girl. She always has been someone to provoke and create solutions within the team. And so definitely honored to have you here. Welcome to our podcast, Ms. Valeria Juarez.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Honored to be here. I'm so excited. I've been hearing every single episode. And oh my God, they're only getting better, and they're only going to get better with your new studio. So I'm excited.
Yes, I mean, you're here with us now. So right in front of us, we have the build out of our brand new podcast studio.
It's looking amazing. I cannot wait to come back.
Yes. And there is going to be the future of our podcast. So Valeria, for this episode 5, we have an amazing topic.
Yes.
Which, really fires me up because as we were chatting and as we were getting ready, to introduce you, this topic of stop betraying your inner badass, right? Yes. Tell us a little bit about you before we get into it. How did you get introduced to Team Beauty? What did you used to do? And then, we'll get this going.
Awesome. So before Team Beauty, I was actually working full-time, going to school. I've always been someone that enjoys connecting with people. Not a very shy girl. I like the attention. Since I was little, my dad would record me on his video camera. And so I always had that, I'm going to do something with my life bigger than me. I always had that in me. And so started working and started getting into a routine, and it started dying down, my passion, Jerry. And so I would pray to God every morning, I want to find my purpose. I want to find my why. I would listen to personal development on my way to work, on my way to school. I was very distracted by who I was going to become at my work, at my school, listening to personal development since then, and just thinking what is my purpose? Why am I here? So I would ask God, just give me a sign, bring me something, let me know where my path is. And so Team Beauty came into my life when I was 23 years old. I had the honor of meeting my sponsor. She was actually in episode 3 or 2? In episode 2.
She was in episode 2.
Yes, Jessica Gutierrez. I had the pleasure of meeting her through a friend in common. And, I went into her McAllen studio, drove an hour. Brownsville is an hour away from McAllen. So I drove an hour to meet this person that invited me to this project called Team Beauty. And I don't know why at the moment, I was in very toxic relationships, and something in my gut just told me, go to this appointment. You're going to McAllen to see your boyfriend at the time. Why not?
Ibas a matar dos pájaros con un tiro.
Yes, why
you were
not?
Gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone,
yes.
right?
It's our intuition, Jerry, and our gut that talks to us sometimes, and we can ignore it or we can go for it. And I'm so grateful that I listened to it and that I didn't betray, myself in that moment, because I was able to meet Jessica, which is my sponsor. She is now like family to me. She's like my sister, like my older sister, or my herba mom, as I like to call her. She has been so inspirational to me. She has, I've been able to see through what she has done what is possible for me. And so I'm just so grateful to have met her and have met you through her, and be a part of this amazing project. I found my purpose. Like, I immediately knew when I met her, when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, I want to be a part of this. I want to empower women. And later I found out that that was going to be my purpose. So
Wow. And at 23 years old, you found us, right? So,
yes. 7 years so far. So I'm 29.
Years. Okay.
About to be 30 next year. I don't know how
And
I feel about
looking
that.
fine.
Yes.
23 years old, Valeria, and when we think about it, you were already a seeker. You were looking into personal growth, right? Listening to personal development audios, and how amazing that at that age you were able to fall into Team Beauty and really start to look into working on nutrition, on your fitness. Was it something that you were like, okay, I'm ready to change my physical appearance, I'm ready to maybe drop some weight, or was it something that it was higher than that? What was it about Team Beauty that you were like, this is what I want to do?
I was going into work listening to Eric Thomas before going to work. I would listen to Eric Thomas. I would listen to Les Brown. I would listen to all these amazing speakers. And so I'd be so fired up, like, I'd get to the office and it'd be like, I got to make coffee for my boss. And it was like, I got to take out the trash because apparently no one did. And it was like, am I really fulfilling my purpose here, And it was that moment of like realizing that I was still becoming, and so when I got the invitation to Team Beauty and I learned about the project and our purpose, which is to inspire women, I was like, that's me. Like, I've always loved empowerment, and I've always loved fitness. I was working out at 5 a.m. Eric Thomas was in my ears at 5 a.m. I was doing the deal, but I was eating really bad too. So I was, going out to lunch with the coworkers. If it was Wingstop, if it was Whataburger, it was that. And so I would say, like, I'm busting my ass at the gym for 3 hours, because I would go sometimes 5 a.m. and then also at night.
Oh, you would have to.
Yeah, I was like intense, right?
Girl.
Like picking up the weight, I would like rack up the weights and feel like a badass, and then I was eating Whataburger at night because I was like super hungry. And so I think what was missing for me was the nutrition part. So really I said yes to this because I wanted to lose weight. My goal was to lose 30 pounds. I was falling into depression, going from toxic relationship to toxic relationship, not eating okay, having a breakup and having ice cream, like the big bucket of ice cream. My mom already knew. I would walk in the house with like my Stripes bag, and it had like hot Cheeto Puffs, ice cream,
Oh my goodness.
like the drinks, like the alcoholic beverages, right, with like the chamoy or whatever. She already knew, like, oh shit, she broke up with the
Something went
boyfriend
down,
again.
for sure.
Something's gonna happen, and that was my food, was my comfort. And so it was messing me up, because I was looking in the mirror and I was saying, like, this is not me. Like, I didn't recognize myself. One day we were gonna go to the beach, and I was like looking for cover-ups, because I was like, I need to cover up. And so when Team Beauty came into my life, fitness is a big part of it. Nutrition is a big part of it. Nutrition is the star of the show for Team Beauty. So, lost 6 pounds in the first week, and
Never look back.
never looked back.
Wow, what an amazing story, Valeria. And now, you have been over the last 7 years inside of the city of Brownsville, and of course with social media have been able to build an amazing platform, an amazing team of boss babes, and have inspired not only people to focus on their nutrition and fitness, but you also have inspired and empowered women to start to create something for themselves, right? To secure that bag and feel confident, about that for themselves. And so as we talk about stop betraying your inner badass, it's been a 7-year journey for you. And what is it, about that you feel, right, that we fall into, right? When you say inner badass, right? It's like right now when
we
you
all have one.
Yeah, and when you say Eric Thomas, like you like it's that lioness, right? That you look in the mirror. For me, it's always been like, I don't know, like I've always wanted to do like pole dancing, for example.
Whoa!
Or like
I didn't know that.
you have a sexy class,
Yeah.
right? And like and you do it with your girlfriends, or like you dare to wear that little black dress and feel super confident, or you dare to talk on stage and then you get off and you're like, I did so good,
Yeah.
like for the inner badass and for all of our listeners, right? I want you to think, what is that for me? Right? And so for me, that's what it is, that inside of you that you have this whatever animal you want to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have this lioness, like you have this inside of you, but we, with life circumstances, choices, right, betray that. So what does that mean for you, and how have you learned to create disciplines, habits, to be strong? Right now you're pregnant. How many weeks pregnant are you?
26 weeks.
Okay.
Pregnant.
And this is your
second baby.
So, you're pregnant, you're beautiful. How do you, what does that mean to you, right? And how have you created that through the years?
I think, Jerry, that how we feel and how we look is going to determine how your day goes, right? So I learned from my first pregnancy. I mean, it's not easy, and as we evolve, as women, sometimes routine can get the best of us, and so I'm always looking for ways to get better, ways to learn, ways to evolve. Still listen to podcasts. These podcasts have helped me so much, and so I'm always a seeker, I guess, always seeking for more, because when we get comfortable and when we fall into routine, like Shakira just, launched a song, Monotonía, right? And I saw a meme Marbella put on Facebook. She's like, si Shakira y Piqué les ganó la monotonía, imagínate uno que vive aquí en Brownsville, en el rancho. And it's like, and they travel the world and they're artists, like how did rituals or like routine, how did routine get you to not have adventure and to seek that inner badass? So for me, it's just like the moment I feel like I'm in a bun and I'm at home and I'm chill, it's like, wait, I'm not seeking, I'm not like, I'm betraying myself in some way. I betrayed myself today by not doing my hair. I betrayed myself today by not, holding myself accountable. And I guess Team Beauty, Jerry, really helped me hold myself accountable, because really, like, everyone, when you wake up in the morning, who do you hold yourself accountable to? Who do you search? Like, because no one is texting you, good morning, are you going to shower today? Are you going to do your hair? Did you drink your shake? Are you eating healthy? No one is doing that. So for me, Team Beauty, having the community, and we have a 24/7 chat. I don't know if you guys know, but in our challenges, one of our strongest things is our chats. And I've been a part of those chats for 7 years. And it's helped me so much because I have somewhere I can go. I have somewhere where I wake up in the morning and, I'm able to clock in with myself and with my inner badass. And so everyone in that chat is posting, good morning, just had my personal development, just drank my shake. And I'm like, okay, that's what I had to do. Like, I needed that reminder. Or I see someone will randomly post adding value and you're like, wow, that was for me. So I guess, Jerry, having a support system and not isolating yourself, because a lot of the times we're like, no, I don't want to join a community. I don't want to join a group. I'm fine. I'm good. But it's like, we're not fine. We're not good. We always need support. And so Team Beauty has been that for me. And so 7 years I've been a part of this, and I can't say I've struggled with that because I've never been alone. Like, I've always joined the challenges. I'm always excited. I'm always saying yes because I know the minute I betray
at some
that.
point, I want to know, like, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously life is not perfect.
Yeah.
But at some point, can you share with me, like, at a time where you feel that you know that there's certain things that you betrayed yourself with? Like, what does that mean to you, betray yourself? Like, what are some examples that you can give me for the people that are listening? Because I truly believe that when you unlock that, when you realize, like, oh, that's what I've been doing, that's why I have these results,
Yeah.
then you can change that.
Yeah.
When you've identified, like, that's what I've been doing. So for you, right, Valeria, people look at you. I mean, you're beautiful, you're fashionista, right? Like, you've had amazing disciplines. You work out during your
Yeah.
pregnancies. I mean, you turn around and you can't even tell
Yeah.
that you have a bump, okay? Then she turns around and, like, there's that bump, right? But it's like you can look at that and see, like, wow,
Yeah.
your life is beautiful and it's amazing. But internally, has there been anything where you're in your process, right, that you've been like, this is what I've struggled with, and how you overcame that so you don't continue betraying yourself?
Yes. So we were talking about this earlier. We make decisions every single day. We're faced with making a choice. And we can make decisions that are going to enhance ourselves, and we can make decisions that are going to drain us. And so, for example, one I'm going to give an example of, like, I feel like I betrayed myself. And it's not really betray because, I mean, I forgive myself for it. But postpartum, my first baby, Emiliano, he was born February 15th, 2021. It was in the middle of the cold, the freezing weather that we had, that, like, the lights went off, and it was a crazy experience, a crazy day. That same day I went to the hospital, right? And so the first 2 weeks of being a mother and going through the sleepless nights, and I was so hard on myself, Jerry. Like, I wanted to breastfeed so bad. And so here I was, 3 a.m, like, 2 little drops of milk would come out. My nipples were bleeding, and I hadn't slept. I hadn't showered. And, this was me for like a week and a half, until one day I just woke up, and I guess I had slept the whole night for, like, the first time. And my husband was there giving Emmy a Formula One. Not Formula One. I'm sorry. Formula One is the Herbalife product, which he drinks now. But the bottle, right? Whatever milk we had at that time for in case of emergencies. And I remember, like, waking up, seeing that, and baby Emmy was so chill. He was eating finally what he was supposed to, like, the amount that he was supposed to, because I wasn't producing enough milk. So he would be mad all the time because he was hungry. And they told me, if you give him formula, he's not gonna want to breastfeed anymore. So don't, stick to your breast milk. And so when I saw that, I wanted to kill my husband. I was like, how dare you not wake me up so that I breastfeed? And I just remember him saying, babe, go shower. Like, you rested. Like, go shower. I got this. He's drinking milk. You're good. And I was like, I went to shower, and I was just crying, like, crying so bad, because I realized, like, oh my God, like, I've been betraying myself for a week. And sometimes, as mothers, and we were talking about this, when you become a mother, you realize, like, oh, like, it's hard. It's hard, Now I relate to mothers, and now I relate to, things that happen. And so I remember just crying in the shower, and crying because I was mad, Jerry, but also crying because I had realized that I was being so hard on myself, and that I had betrayed myself. I had not slept. I had, bleeding nipples, and I wasn't producing milk, and it was not my fault. Sometimes you produce, sometimes you don't, and we get bashed sometimes for, breast milk or not breast milk? Are you a better mom because you breastfed or not? And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? After that shower, I felt so good. Oh my God, I did my skincare routine. I put my bandana, my robe. I put body lotion on, and I was like, oh my God, I let go of myself for a week. And that was a moment where I betrayed myself, and I knew it because I got emotional, and I realized that I was being so hard on myself. So that is one example.
Yeah, you have me crying over here.
No.
And I feel you because as moms, you transported me to those times.
Yeah.
And we have the power in our hands to make the choice,
Yeah.
right? Like to thank you so much, honey, instead of like, what the
Yeah.
hell are you doing? Right?
Yes.
Like, give me my baby. And like we
Yes.
can get so, over or protective or feel a certain way because we already have this image in our brain of like how it's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna breastfeed my baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, and for some people it works and for some people it doesn't work. But the most important thing is not forget about ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And so at that time, in that moment, and that could be, you just gave a beautiful example. That could be you were on your plan and then you ate cake or, party came around and you messed up on the weekend and it takes you a whole week to get back on.
Oh my God, that happens.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, yes. And it's like I heard one time, like if you don't work out for, like, don't ever stop working out for more than 2 days. I've heard that because then it's gonna become a habit. Like after 2 days, like if it's
It'll take you
more than 2
longer.
days, it's gonna be. So it's okay to mess up. It's okay to fall off the wagon. But how fast you get back up, how fast you go back to your plan, how fast you start working out, you go for a walk. Like instead of punishing yourself and being hard on yourself, and I have so many, girls that I know that do that to themselves, and they're like, no, I went through this, and my kid got sick, and I didn't finish the 21-day challenge, and it's like I'm not blaming or judging that person. It's just like, oh, you could have just second day just gotten back up. Like, don't give up just because you went through something hard, because life is gonna happen regardless.
Please Instagram
Tweetable moment.
Instagrammable, the Instagram worthy right here.
Yes.
Life is going to happen. So I was gonna say, you still eat, right?
Yes.
Yes. So why would you give up on your healthy journey?
Yeah.
You're still gonna eat, but we fall off because life got hard. And one of the things that as humans, this is the human nature, we resort to what is easy.
Yeah.
We resort to doing less, right? And so bringing out our inner badass takes some action. Last week in the episode 4, right, Suhaila talked about some steps, right? Taking full responsibility, committing to what you want, and creating new disciplines, and checking that inner badass within me of, okay, am I aligned with the things that I want to accomplish, right? And so how do you bring out your inner badass to where now it's some areas have become a part of who you are? How do you bring out your inner badass? How do you
Snap out.
snap out of it, Valeria? Like, go take a shower, do your routine, but like, how do you talk to yourself? I want to know, how do you talk to yourself?
Well, how you talk to yourself is everything. And, looking in the mirror, what you tell yourself is so important. So I always if I'm going to talk to myself, Jerry, it's going to be empowering myself, because we could be our worst critics and we could be the worst little negative voice, because we all have one. And so when I look in the mirror, I like to say, like, you're powerful, you are a badass, you're gonna change someone's life today, you have purpose. I tell myself beautiful things because it's like a plant. You have to feed it. You have to give it water. You have to give it love for it to flourish. If you start talking bad to it, if you stop giving water to it,
And sunlight.
it's going to dry. And so we are the same. And so you're not crazy if you look in the mirror and you're like, you're a badass, you're powerful. You know, we had an empowerment activity one pink day, and we're like, how do you talk yourself in the mirror? So look at the person in front of you and talk to them like if they're the mirror. And I had girls that were like, I don't really talk to myself in the mirror. And I'm like, that's what you need, girl. Let me talk to you. And so I told the person right in front of me, you're powerful. You're a badass. You have purpose in this life. Without you, we wouldn't be here. You have purpose. And she started bawling, Jerry. And I was like, that's all she needed. Mm-hmm. And that's all we need sometimes. And so the way I talk to myself is always in a powerful way. And I'm always gonna resort to empowerment to feel better, because we have bad days. Like, I can look at my calendar and there's good days, there's bad days that I've had. But the bad day is not going to determine my month. I'm going to go back in the mirror and speak words of empowerment to myself.
Affirmations,
Yes.
absolutely. And, you know, Valeria, everyone that is listening right now, I want you to think, okay, I got it. Right? I'm going to the mirror and I'm going to start speaking some truth about me, right? I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am a badass, right? I am a CEO. Like, I can do this business. I can lose weight. I am abundant, you know, all those beautiful things. And now what? Right? So many people get lost in like, okay, I'm ready. I just listened to the podcast and oh my God, like, it's fire. I'm so motivated. I'm ready to go. Now what? Like, I know that you have a checklist.
Yes.
Right? That you followed through. So let's leave everybody with that. Like, what are some action steps? What is that checklist that you don't get lost in the road, right?
Yeah.
Because as you want to come back and as you want to start your action towards being your badass, what are the action steps that we're going to take this week to start feeling that about ourselves?
So create a checklist. That is something that I will leave the listeners with. In anything that you do, even if you don't do Herbalife, if you don't do Team Beauty, like in whatever area, whatever that you do, right? Create a checklist that is gonna set you up for success. So we are fortunate enough to have amazing support in the business, and within Team Beauty, we have checklists created for us. And it's just a matter of check, 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 right? So create something that to your lifestyle is gonna make you productive. So like, for example, I have my own checklist, right? And so number one is wake up on time. So wake up on time, because if I had to be here at 11 a.m., I had to be up at a certain time, Jerry, so that I can listen to my personal development, so that I can drink my tea, my shake, my tabs, so that I can feed my baby, so that I can shower my baby, so I can shower myself, you know, get ready, drive, put gas, you know. So if you're a person that wakes up and you're like, what am I gonna do today? Like, you're already sabotaging yourself, because you don't have a plan, you don't have a checklist that you could be like, this is what I have to do to be productive. So if you're just waking up in the morning and you're just like, life happened to me however, you know, you want, where are you going, right? So waking up on time is one of my things that I do. Listening to personal development, at least 30 minutes, Jerry. And I love that these podcasts are like 30 minutes. They're perfect. So anybody could do something for 30 minutes in a day. Like, we have 24 hours in a day, 30 minutes to work on yourself, to groom yourself, to listen to something that's gonna empower you, so that you have something to give to the world. Because if I just wake up and I just hear the news, Jerry, I'm gonna be depressed and I'm gonna be talking about catastrophic things that are happening. But if I'm feeding myself something empowering, something that is developing me, I'm going to be able to develop others. So Working out, for me, it's important because I want to be a healthy grandmother one day.
Okay.
I don't see fitness or transformation as have abs. I don't see myself like, I mean, of course, I would love to have abs, but I don't see it like that. The end goal for me, Jerry, is be an energetic, healthy grandmother one day that can pick up their grandkids, that can go to the park, run with them, that I can beat my grandson if we're racing.
Okay.
Not he can beat me. That's my goal. So working out is important because if I don't work out, well, I'm never going to develop the muscle. I'm never going to, develop the energy. And so working out is super important.
So, Valeria, okay.
Checklist.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, 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 check.
My listeners, right? Like, okay, I got this, right? Like, I'm going to have some affirmation in my life. I have a support system, right? Like, I need to find that avenue that continues to fuel me not only once, but daily until I can create the disciplines. And then I need my checklist for myself so that I don't snooze, so I don't not shower.
Yeah.
So I don't skip my workout and be like, next week. Like, how do you start? If you're listening today and you're like, how do I start? That's how you start.
Yeah.
By starting to stay true to the things that you want.
Yeah.
And that's only by taking that step forward. And I love that, right? Like, I need my checklist that is going to guide me.
Yes.
So whenever I'm lost, I go back to
what is important to me, and that's going to make you happy because that's what is important to you, right? Your end goal. What is your end goal? So having a checklist, super important, Jerry, to not get lost in the now, like in the just day by day living a routine life. Because once you hit that routine and you're just bored, nothing's happening, that's where everything starts to deteriorate. So
yes,
staying in action.
I love it. And I'll just take you back to, I want you to imagine, right? Everybody on the podcast now, I want you to imagine your life waking up and thinking about your mess up, thinking about your failure, and thinking about the things that don't make you feel good. So then what happens? You wake up late. And then what happens? You stay in bed.
It's a vicious cycle.
And you eat bad and you don't feel good. And then you repeat that and you stay in that. Versus, I want you to now think, okay, I got my checklist.
Yeah.
I have my alarm. I jumped out of bed. I took my shower. I went to the gym, or I went to work. I listened to something positive, right? I have a gratitude outlook in life. I'm eating healthy. I went to Team Beauty. I checked in with my coach, right? What is the domino effect, of that? So I absolutely love what you just said today, right? Don't betray your inner badass.
Life will happen regardless. Have a checklist for the next action step to go forward, not to go backwards.
There is about 65 days left before the year ends. So you can definitely have a revolutionary shift in your life.
That's right.
In your physical, in your spiritual, in your financial state. Everything can happen when you step forward into your power and you start believing that you too are powerful, that you're a badass. So, Vale, thank you so much for being with us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Episode 5 has come to an end of our 12 weeks, and we cannot wait for what is coming next.
Yes.
Make sure that if you found value inside of our podcast, that you not only listen to it, but share it on your social media. Tag us at Team Beauty Official on Instagram or Facebook.
At validj.fit. Tag me if you listen.
And let her know, right? What is it that you personally took away from this podcast? And what are the things that you are going to start to put into action to feel like the badass that you are? Thank you guys so much, and see you in the next one.